Hi, my name is Siabonga Kumaro. I live at Mlalazi. My school is Kokweni. My favorite team is Bukuza.
I live with my grandmother and my grandfather. Both my mother and my father have died from AIDS. This is where I sleep with my granny and my two sisters. We also cook our food here. Through Zulufara organization, I have mother and father in Norway. The last 2 years they have paid for my monthly food ration, in addition to my school fees and school uniform.
Siabonga was born in 1996, but he doesn't know what day he was born. His parents are dead, as you heard, and he lives with his grandparents. There are 3 children living at home. Granny receives a pension of about $120 a month, and she uses it to buy food and clothes for the whole family, but of course it's not enough. He likes playing soccer, and he plays it as often as he can, and when he grows up, he's told us that he wants to be a social worker so that he can help other people. But the fact of the matter is that Siabonga lives in appalling conditions by our standards. But he's fortunate to have older relatives alive to provide some semblance of family life. There's no water at home, and he has to carry buckets of water on his head from the nearest tap. And of course in winter it gets very cold, so blankets and extra clothes are needed to stay warm at night because, as you see, he sleeps on the floor. Each morning Siabonga walks for 45 minutes to get to school without having a proper breakfast. He's a bright student, but he's naughty. There are no meals at school, and the teachers have told us that the children often fall asleep at their desks during the day. He lives too far away from the community centre for meals, but many of the children who live closer get hot meals every day, including weekends. He has to make do with a visit on a Saturday when he can fill his stomach and play with his friends and spend some time with the volunteer staff who check on his mental and physical condition. This old granny has a far worse story to tell. She has lost 10 children and 6 grandchildren to AIDS, and all she has left is a 3-year-old grandson, Kwazi, and miraculously, he is HIV negative. Well, the community hall is a hive of activity every day. Preschool classes are held each weekday, clinics, meetings and classes for all ages take place continuously. Around 200 breakfasts and lunches are served each day to the children. But it's not only the children who have problems. Many of the families, some headed by children themselves, some by elderly grannies, have difficulty buying even the most basic necessities of life. So on one Saturday a month, food parcels are distributed. Now, Food Parcel Day is a day to savor. I wish I could take you there to see it. From early in the morning, the people begin to gather at the center, many of them pushing wheelbarrows ready to cart away their supplies. Soon a pattern begins to emerge. The grown-ups, mainly women, they congregate and exchange gossip, and the children find their friends and sort themselves out into peer groups. Before long, there are games of every description going on, especially soccer, that is everybody's passion. The truck arrives from town, loaded up with maize meal, potatoes and other essentials, and willing hands form queues to move the goods into place. Now, there's nothing haphazard about this process. Everyone in the scheme has been interviewed and entered on a database and will be checked off against a schedule on the day. Of course, there's always some extra food to help people in desperate need, but the point is that this is a well-regulated program. In the nearby town where I live is a government hospital, and until recently, many of the doctors here were foreign, working on contract, but now they're going home and we're struggling to find qualified staff. It's a big, sprawling facility with a heavy schedule. The equipment leaves much to be desired, but the dedication and spirit of the doctors and nurses is inspiring. The anaesthetist, what do you say? What do you call them here? Anesthesiologist. There's too many syllables for us in Africa. The anaesthetist at the hospital is Alicia Janowska, and she's the president of the Rotary Club of Ashawi, my club. Alicia spends long hours there at the hospital and is often exhausted when she comes to our Rotary meetings on a Tuesday evening. Recently, a blood gas machine and ultrasound equipment was donated by a Rotary Club in District 5340 in San Diego. See, it's because of your support that Rotary is making a difference there. Back at the center, a meeting is in progress discussing food production. Now, most Zulu people will grow some maize or vegetables to satisfy their immediate needs, but they don't know much about volume production and saving for a rainy day. The people are excited about an offer from overseas to finance greenhouses, big food tunnels. And through a matching grant, the Rotary Club of Umhlanga in Durban has offered to provide 5 of these tunnels and arrange for training. There's one person in the community who knows a lot about this. Aurelia Umhlanga has dedicated most of her adult life to uplifting her community. She's a humble woman with a sparkling wit, and she's just the person we need to manage the project.
My name is Aurelia Umhlanga. This is a project that I started to help provide fresh vegetables and salad greens to the 100 people in my community. The seeds that I've planted here have made a small difference to people's lives, and I'm hoping that I will be able to expand the project to provide food and employment for more of our people. Our friends from overseas are planting different types of seeds. Seeds of hope, seeds of opportunity, and seeds of happiness. These are fruits of the seeds that we have planted and hopefully will continue to plant. You are gardeners just like me, and we are so thankful to know that you are standing beside us.
The committee have lots of other matters to discuss. A borehole and a water tank is planned for a nearby community. A child with congenital hip displacement has had corrective surgery. You saw a picture of him earlier on in the plaster cast. And he's on the mend, but he has no family and he needs a foster home. The members want to promote an HIV testing program and encourage local people to agree to testing, but superstition is a problem. A Rotary Club in the USA has donated fees for some of the young people to attend a nearby skills training college where they can learn building trades, sewing, dressmaking, and computer skills. But today, the greatest excitement is about the forthcoming visit to Norway of some of the project children. They're talented singers and dancers, and they've been invited to take part in a cultural festival in Norway, sponsored jointly by the United Nations and the Rotary Club of Sondal. The children made a CD recently to raise funds, and it's their voices and music that you've been listening to in these video clips. And I'm going to leave a copy of the CD here with you that you might like to share amongst yourselves. But the day has been long and tiring, and we've been immersed in images and emotions that have left us drained.